So we're out patching up the f250 7.3 power stroke. We got a lot of it done. This is going to be the cover for this corner. This is the area that's next anyways. We redid underneath. We're going to paint and prepare this piece, fill in that little hole on it. But yeah, we've done all along here. Most of this is done with the roof of another truck, and I just made these bends in a brake that I made myself as well. I rebuilt these cab support pockets. I'm gonna put a drain hole in there because I know it gets a lot of water, and I've seen just from the rain that it's holding water. You've got POR 15 all along this seam back here. I might brace that with a small angle iron, re-seam sealer everything. But yeah, we're gonna do this cab corner next. The inside, the outside. It's an aftermarket rocker panel I put in. It has just slight alignment issues at the very front, but for the most part it did fit very well. Decent thickness of metal. This piece right here, biggest pain in the butt of any piece I've put on this truck so far, because these right here were not the same at all. I bent it to make it look nice. But yep, we got the front of the pocket, the bottom of the floor. All of these are welded on both sides of the seams. I only did about a 1/8 overlap. Not very much because I wanted all weld metal in there. This one I just finished doing. Little Mastercraft welder here. 70 amp. Does the job, but not very nicely. We repaired that. This cab corner's only got a small amount to repair. I reached in there with a paintbrush and got some POR 15 on everything. And the bottom of the door jamb. And we just finished this corner here. Looks very bad on the camera, but when I rub some seam sealer along the edges of that stuff, clean up all my spatter and repaint and do everything, maybe not specifically in that order, but we will do it in the proper order. Might be getting this cab finished up today. The welding metal into it at least. This cab corner I'm just gonna rebuild myself, since it's mostly just a small bent piece of metal there. And then the other one, we've got a aftermarket cab corner for that. With this guy here. Again, pretty decent thickness on the metal. These fenders, very thin. But my cab corner, my inner cab corner piece, my rocker panel, they've all been decent thickness of metal. Even my box sides, they're aftermarket, and they're decent thickness of metal. But you can see here, this is where I've been cutting up the roof panel, and I got this thicker 10 gauge piece that I rebuilt the body supports out of. After all this is cleaned, it'll be getting done all painted with an epoxy primer. When I clean every last rust spot I can find, we'll seal it with the epoxy primer, seal the entire body with epoxy primer, and then do our body work over top of the epoxy primer. Or maybe do another coat of, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, if I'm going to go with another coat of epoxy primer on any spots that I've had to Bondo. I don't have very much to do, just some small dents in the box sides. But I know the Bondo needs to be sealed in there, in between the, from no water from both sides, so we may seal it over top with epoxy primer as well. This rad support, rebuilt the corners of it. They're built out of 10 gauge. Rebuilt the center of it. Very much thicker than the factory, because that's a 3/16 piece, I believe. Yep. It's on its way. Cheers, guys. Send me some videos if anyone else is building old rusty trucks. Ford ones are what I like the most, but I'll check out anything. Cheers.